welcome to Bead Mosaics. I'm Sabrina Fry, and today we are going to be talking about beads, all types of beads. I'm going to introduce you to all the different types of beads that are out there. And we are going to start with seed beads. Now, these are the most common beads that you find everywhere. And they come in various sizes, but these are the most common sizes that you'll see. These are round, sometimes a bit irregular, sometimes more perfect. These come in 15s, which are the smallest. They do go up to 18 and 20, but they're very rarely seen. So 15s are super small. 11s are also small, but these are very common sizes. This is something you'll find most seed beads in everywhere. 10 and 11s are pretty easy to find. Again, they get a little bit bigger as you go smaller in the number, and then 6-0 is also very popular. They will go up down to size 2, which is very large, but you don't find those very often, and they're not really used in the glass bead mosaics. So here's a shot of all of them together so that you can see how they look together, and kind of the variations in sizes from 15 to 11s and 8 and 10 up to size 6s. These round style beads like this are also referred to as Rochelle beads. You'll hear different brand names like Delicas and those, and we'll go over some of those later on, but there are a lot of just specific brand names that you can use in mosaics, but they don't necessarily have to be. And they can be purchased loose, as you commonly see them, but then they can also be purchased in what's called a hank. A hank is 10 strands that are pre-strung beads, and these give you a lot of different possibilities, but they also are limited on colors because they don't sell all beads in hanks. But if you want to buy them pre-strung, then that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be getting a hank, and the hank is 10 strands. If you decide to buy them loose, they come in different sizes that you can purchase. The most common size that you'll find in retail stores is the 18 and 24 grams. These are the tubes that you use. And then you'll also find some in 40 grams. The Hobby Lobbies come in the bigger ones, which are 114 grams. But you can also find that size in stores in bags. And then the 465 grams is also known as a 1-pound bag. And I find that the smaller sizes go very, very quickly. So I tend to buy in large quantities from the wholesalers because the bead mosaics use a lot of beads. And you want to make sure that you have a good inventory in order to do this. So these are the different types and styles and quantities that you can get. And you'll want to have, all the different sizes come in these for sale sizes. So there are lots of bead types and finishes in these Rochelle beads. We're going to stick with these, but these terms kind of cover all different types or brands that you will find. So there are solid colors and there are translucents, and one of these is called a Cylon bead, and these have kind of a rainbow finish on the outside. They're somewhat translucent, but not really. And they have kind of an iridescent finish on the outside. Very beautiful when you can use them. They reflect light really well, but not as strong as some of the others. Another type are the metallic beads. These are your golds, your silvers, your bronze, your hematite beads. These are a lot of fun to give accent to some of the regular solid opaque colored beads. And the opaques are usually solid color throughout. Not very, sometimes very vibrant colors, but these come in all types. Really strongly colored beads. These can be used for pretty much anything you want to use them for. Then there's one called a luster, and the luster doesn't have the same rainbow effect that the Cylon bead has, but it is very shiny and beautiful. Sometimes a little bit of an iridescent metallic finish, but not as prevalent as the Cylon. Then the others that are somewhat translucent are the frosted beads, and these are really nice to kind of soften colors a little bit. Then there's inside color, which means the outside glass is one color and then the inside is painted another color, so it gives a really neat effect. Then there are silver line. These are very, very popular, and they're great for giving shine and brilliance to a piece because the light loves to reflect off of that silver on the inside. And then there's also just regular transparent. So these are translucent beads that are see-through color. These are ones you have to be careful of leaving strings in because the strings will change the color of these beads, and any background color will change the color of those. So these are kind of the basics on the different types of beads that you're going to find out there that are pretty prevalent in the marketplace right now. Now there are other shapes that you can buy of beads, and this particular shape is a translucent rectangular bead. There are also square beads, and these are just like little tiny cubes. All of these come in the same sizes that the round ones do, but they're just a little bit different shaped. These are called micro bugles, and they're very tiny bugle beads. So they look similar to the others, but they're just much smaller in size. I like to use those with accent pieces with things. Then there are some others that are, these are called hex cut, and they are cut either 2, 3, or 4 hex sides. They, this particular one is translucent with a silver metallic on the inside, and they're wonderful if you want reflective sparkly, give a lot like a glitter effect. You can buy all of these in hanks just like you buy the loose beads. A little bit harder to find in the hanks, but you can if you look hard enough. Then there are metallic hex cut beads, and these can be kind of heavy to look at if you use all of them only in one place, but I love to intermix these with regular seed beads to give that reflective sparkle quality. So these types of beads will add a lot of bling to your pieces without you having to use only these beads. And the bling comes from the facets that are cut into them. As you can see, they come in various sizes, various lengths. Here's another one that's more of a blue metallic, little softer, rounder look to it. These are cylindrical, and so these are perfectly round and cut into small things. So this is kind of where a bugle bead would start. And so these are seed beads as well, but different type than the Rochelle beads. A lot of brands come like this. You can look for brands like Delica and Mayuka and those other types, and you'll see a lot of this style. Here are some more facet colors. These are crystal beads. So they are clear with the facets on the outside. Wonderful for accents, mixing them in with other beads. They reflect a lot of light, especially when it comes to natural sunlight. You can see the reflective coating on the outside as well as the facet. So bugle beads are long cylindrical beads. They are still made out of glass. You can see the chart here. The smaller the number, the smaller the bead. Different than the seed beads, so keep that in mind. When you start seeing them in millimeter sizes, 25 millimeter is about an inch. The longest that I usually use is 30 millimeters. I do use a lot of number 5s and number 7s in my work. But your smallest ones are, they look similar to seed beads, a lot of times sold as seed beads, but these are your smallest bugle beads, the ones that we talked about a little bit earlier with all the facets in them. You'll find that with bugle beads, you will, because of the length, they're able to do some really great finishes with them. And so you'll see here, there's these kind of have a matte finish on the outside. Then we have some that are smooth finish, so short, a little bit longer. And then there's also a twisted finish, which you can see all the way to the far left. I'm going to show you some different styles. They're opaque and transparent and metallic, just like the others. Here are some longer ones that have the twists in them. and again, some others that are twisted versus straight. Some have silver linings, some are solid colors, some are transparent, translucent. And then these are the extra long ones, which also come in the different finishes. So here's twisted, hexagonal, and round, all of the 3 different styles that you find most often in the really long ones. The super long ones are usually 30 millimeter, and then I think I have 20 millimeters are the shorter ones that are in here.